What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing, bro? It's been a minute. It's been a minute. I was low-key on my own hiatus for a little while there. How's everybody's day been? Opening the chat right now so I can see it. What's up? What's up? I'm gonna close some other stuff on my laptop so the stream functions well. How's everybody doing today? Yeah, I'm opening the stream on my other laptop so I can actually see the chat, but my screen is still just black on my other laptop. Can't even see a singular thing. It's a bit annoying. I might have to open it on my phone. But what's up, chat? How's everyone doing? How's the audio sounding? You guys able to hear me? I think so. Bro, I'm gonna have to open the chat on my phone. I don't know why. My other laptop's just a black screen. That's perfect. Okay. I guess I'll have to use my phone to look at the chat. That's a bit annoying. What's up, everybody? Alright. This laptop's just doing its own thing. Let me open it on my cell phone. So I can actually see these comments. Oh wait, there we go. Oh, it's up, it's up. Okay. It's actually working now. It just took about... It took a lot longer than I expected. The chat's actually open now. I can see what you guys are saying. What's up? What's up? I wasn't even sure if the stream was live, to be honest with you. We got Kona, we got Immortal Rob, we got Kisuke, Swift Savage Bear, we got KOH, we got My Cat Rage, we got Catcord, Meko, Gone, Evil Grew, Ashura. What's up, you guys? What is up, everybody? What is up? How's everyone's day going? Today we're going to be doing the first debate we've had in a while. It really has been a minute. It really has been a minute here. It's been a century. It really has been, dude. It's been like... I haven't done a debate in like 2 weeks, bro. Low-key, I went on my own like mini hiatus there. Just took a break from editing, took a break from doing debates. All I did in that time was play garbage anime games that I did not like, did not enjoy. It honestly wasn't even that relaxing of a time. Kind of a big waste of time. A waste of time. But yeah, we're back, bro. We're doing debates again. And I'm editing the Zoldyck versus Zodiac family video for you guys. If I really lock in, honest truth, if I really lock in, it'll be posted tomorrow night. But I would say it's probably going to be more like a Wednesday upload. But we'll have videos back again. We'll be posting a good amount this week. So it's nice to be back. But yeah, guys, we're talking about Ging versus Netero today. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to go through some Ging power scaling first. Then we're going to go into some Netero power scaling. Then we're going to have an open debate talking about who you guys think is stronger. You guys in the chat will be able to like debate openly here as well. And this is how you guys can do it. Let's say you want to join the debate. You go to my YouTube channel here. Let's say you just go to the channel, right? You click over on the posts tab. Then you scroll down. You see this poll here that we just most recently did here. You click on that. And then you click the pinned comment, and that'll take you to like where the debate chat is, and you'll be able to join in on this live stream debate. So that portion of the debate will be right after I finish going through all this power scaling, all right? You said audio sounds good. That's good. Ashura, you said sleep schedule is cooked. Man, I can relate to that, bro. I can relate to that. But all right, let's go ahead and get into this, okay? So first, like I said, we're going to be power scaling Ging. So Ging, from the moment he's introduced into the story, is like honestly one of the most hyped up characters in all of Hunter x Hunter. When we first start getting a good understanding of his power is with Bisky. It's with Bisky during Greed Island. And Bisky states that Netero said that Ging is among the top 5 Nen users. Okay. And in the manga, like word for word, Bisky's like, Netero used to say he's among the top 5 Nen users, telling you it's like at some point in the past. And in the anime, they show a version of Ging that she's talking about when this statement is being made, and they show a very young Ging. This Ging that we see right here is Ging, like the headband Ging on the right. This Ging matches up with the depiction of the Ging that fought Razor back when either Greed Island was still being built, or like before Greed Island was completely constructed, or like right as it was constructed. It's like that same version of Ging. So Ging right now, he's 32. He's in the age range of 32 to 34, depending on how much time you think passed throughout the like story's timeline. Right now, he's either 32 or 34, somewhere in that range. And this version of Ging that you see right here, the one that's like fighting Razor, the one that like just completed Greed Island or was like in the middle of building it, that's around a 20-year-old Ging. So if Ging was a top 5 Nen user that long ago, that would mean he's been a top 5 Nen user for over 10 years, and he's likely gotten much stronger since then. There's a few different things that imply that. One is this statement here, where they're talking about how are they going to... So this is the Zodiac, right? The Zodiac are speaking, and they're saying, like, how are we going to handle this mission of capturing Beyond while going to the Dark Continent? And they're talking about how there's like a difference in their preparation, because Beyond Netero has been preparing to go to the Dark Continent for decades. Meanwhile, no one in the Zodiac has been preparing to go to the Dark Continent really at all. And they're like, is there anyone who's even considered going, or anyone who's like preparing to go? And they're like, there's only one of us who was, and that was Ging. So I'm not saying Ging has been preparing as long as Beyond has, but this implies, like, similar to Beyond, Ging was also preparing to go to the Dark Continent. That's also stated when he's talking to Gon too, and we'll cover that in a little bit. But basically, it's like, the point I'm trying to express to you is that Ging was a top 5 Nen user a long time ago. The exact amount of time he's been a top 5 Nen user is debatable. Let me know how long you think then he's ever done before. On top of that, he has this talent where he can imitate any punching ability that he's been hit with. And that's not even his Hatsu ability. He has a different Hatsu ability on top of that. But this talent, that alone, would make him a lot stronger over the course of 10 years. Who knows how many times he's been punched by someone, like, just to gain new abilities, in a similar fashion to what happened with him and Leorio. Who knows how many times he's done that, how many crazy things he's done in that time frame. Okay, another bit of like lore that scales Ging is like the statements that Kite says about him at the very start of the series. Honestly, bro, Ging is kind of like the Shanks of Hunter x Hunter. He's just kind of hyped up by a lot of different characters, and even without seeing him fight, we know that he's very strong. So this is like chapter 1 of Hunter x Hunter stuff, where Kite's talking about Ging to Gon. And this is an 8-year-old Gon, so this is 3 years before chapter 1. That's where this like conversation takes place. And Kite says, Ging is the best. There's no other hunter like him. Now, the most logical interpretation of that, in my opinion, is that he's just like being kind and showing respect to his like Nen master, because Ging is Kite's Nen master, right? But if you... Wait, W, you said the audio's cutting? Hey, yo, chat, let me know. Is the audio actually cutting? Because I switched up some stuff on my OBS, so I was hoping it would sound more clear. Hold up. Is the audio cutting, chat? Let me know in the chat. Is the audio cutting out? Can you guys hear me? Let me know. I just peeped over at the chat and saw that. Here, let me leave a comment. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. Is the audio cutting out? Nope. The audio is not cutting. Yeah, it is cutting. Wait, which one is it? Is the audio good or is the audio not good? Can you guys hear me, chat? It's good now. It was before, but you're good now. It's cutting for me. Really? Is it cutting like large segments or just like brief moments? Was good, then crashed out. It's cutting for me. Dang, really? It happened a couple times. No way, huh? I wonder if the mic is just dying. Or it might be like, I don't know. Maybe it's just like try refreshing. Cutting for some, not for others. I think your stream lagged, but now it's good. Do you guys need me to repeat anything? All right. I'll repeat this segment just in case it was cutting out while I was talking. How long was it? Was cutting for a little bit? Okay, I'll just repeat this segment I was saying. Basically, a summary of what I was trying to explain is that Jing's been a top 5 NEN user for a long time. Okay, I'm just going to keep going. So I'm going to give you a summary of what I just said. Basically, Ging has been a top 5 NEN user for a long time, right? And he's been preparing to go to the Dark Continent in a similar fashion to Beyond Netero. So that would imply that he's getting stronger to handle a more dangerous mission than he's ever handled before. On top of that, he has a talent where he can generally imitate any punching ability he's been hit with. That alone would make him a lot stronger over the years after obtaining the top 5 NEN user title. Because we have no idea how many times he's been hit with NEN abilities just to gain new powers, like in a similar fashion to what he did with Leorio. And he has a different Hatsu ability on top of that. Okay. Then there's a bit more things, a bit more lore that like there's a bit more lore that you can use to scale Ging to being pretty strong. Okay. It's this statement here. This is like chapter 1 to chapter 8 stuff. This is Kite talking to Gon, and this is what Kite says. He says, Ging is the best. There's no other hunter like him. Okay. So I think, in my opinion, the most logical interpretation of this is just that Kite is showing respect to his NEN master Ging. Like, Ging is Kite's NEN master. He's the person who like trained Kite, right? So I think the most logical interpretation of this is more or less Kite just being nice. This is Kite kind of hyping him up. But if you take this 100% literally, or maybe if you want to word it like this is a highball interpretation, I've seen some people say that this is Kite straight up saying Ging is already the number 1 hunter now. Like he went from top 5 to being actually number 1. Okay. That's one way you could view it. And this was 3 years before the current story. This was 3 years before chapter 1. Okay, that's 3 years before chapter 1. Ging could have, if you're like taking it 100% literally, that he really was the best hunter and there really was genuinely no other hunter like him. You could view that as 3 years before chapter 1, Ging was already the number 1 hunter. Then if you look at the left-hand panel, this is a list of different achievements Ging has accomplished. And all of these like wide variety of accomplishments, they make it so that Ging could already classify to be a triple star hunter, something that there's less than 10 of in the entire world. Ging could already classify for that simply based off of his insane accomplishments and like training people, but he's just too lazy to fill out the paperwork. He just doesn't feel like doing that. But this statement, like these two statements together are really important because it shows you that like, also it combines with a few other things Ging says, but this is important because it shows you that Ging has a long history of just like setting crazy goals and then achieving them. And he also has a line of dialogue where he's speaking to Gon where he says like to be a hunter, you just have to be an egomaniac, put everything aside in the pursuit of your goals. And that's like a bit of dialogue that shows you that Ging and Gon are very similar. Like that's how they operate through life. They just care about their goals to the point where they're stubborn to other people. But yeah, the fact that Ging has now set like going to the Dark Continent as his next goal, and it seems that he's had it for a while, maybe even years, similar to Beyond, and he was a top 5 NEN user a long time ago. There's a lot of lore that implies like Ging is just insane. A lot of different things that you could use to scale him above Netero, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment here. But wait, hold on. What did you guys say? Bro, no way. Is the audio still cutting out for you guys? Okay, wait, you said not for me? Okay. Yeah, let me know if the audio cuts out, chat. If the audio is cutting out for you guys, If the audio is cutting out for you guys, try refreshing the page. Hopefully the mic isn't just dying midstream. That'd be no good. Anyways, yeah, here's some more dialogue of Ging saying he's always after what he needs right now. Essentially, he's just talking about how he just puts everything aside for his goals. And his goals are pretty much the only thing that matter to him. And right now, his goal is going to the Dark Continent. Kona, you said it's fine for you? Okay. Yeah, if the audio if the audio starts cutting out, try refreshing the page, okay? Yeah, I might end up having to get a new microphone. Anyways, here's something else that's pretty interesting about Ging. I haven't seen people speak about this. So when Jing's talking to Gon about the Dark Continent, he says there's 4 different things you need to get to the Dark Continent. 4 things really just to get started. He says the permission, the means, the qualifications, and a contract. He then says he doesn't have any of those 4 things, but he's not in a hurry. Okay? So in the beginning, when I first read that, I thought it meant that Ging was not strong enough to conquer the Dark Continent yet. But then the moment Beyond Netero makes an announcement that he's going to the Dark Continent, Ging switches everything up entirely and is going way out of his way to go on this mission, to the point where he's dropping billions of dollars just to go. So it makes you start questioning these previous claims. Was he this is actually something that I don't even think they fully answered yet. And I'm interested to see what you guys think about this in the comments. How come he went from saying he didn't have these 4 things needed to go to the Dark Continent, but then all of a sudden when Beyond Netero's I'm going to the Dark Continent, Ging drops everything and is look, I'm going to spend billions of dollars to go, and he's going. I don't think it's even been fully answered, but it's interesting, right? And there's dialogue about that too, where Beyond's employees that are there to go to the Dark Continent, Ging straight up says I'm going to pay 200 of you guys double what Beyond paid you. And one of the workers there is that's insane. Why would he be willing to drop this much money just to go on this mission with us? It's not really lining up. It doesn't really make sense. I think I have a panel here. Hold up. Do I have it? Yeah, this is actually a calculation of how much money Ging was willing to actually drop just to go to the Dark Continent. He's willing to spend if you view the Hunter currency as yen, then that would be 2 billion US dollars that Ging just casually drops so that he can go on this trip. So you guys in the chat, let me know what you think. Why do you think Ging went from all of a sudden because this is only it's not even a 10 chapter difference of one another. When he actually, I think it might be exactly 10 chapters where Ging tells Gon he doesn't have any of the 4 prerequisites he needs to get to the Dark Continent. Then 10 chapters later, Beyond Netero announces he's going, and Jing's all right, well, I'm dropping 2 billion just to go now. And not only is he spending $2 billion, he's putting himself in danger going with Pariston. Him and Pariston are having a light Yagami L battle the entire time. And on top of that, Pariston's trying to jeopardize him, sending people to attack him. He's putting himself in great danger just to go on this mission, and he left the Zodiac to do this as well. It seems like Ging has some kind of mastermind, genius 300 IQ plan that hasn't fully been revealed. But I've always found that kind of interesting. Why did he all of a sudden switch on a dime like that? It makes me question, was it ever really true that he didn't have these 4 prerequisites? Maybe he actually did have them, but just didn't. But there was some unknown reason why he wasn't going. I'm not exactly sure, and I am interested in seeing what you guys in the chat think about that. Okay. Rex, you said bro got FOMO when he heard Beyond was going. Maybe it could be something that simple. But Meko, you said he probably going to just get information. It could be something really interesting. Catcord, you said Beyond kind of made a situation where Ging could go without those 4 things. Maybe that's what it is. I could see that being a solid answer to it. But here's something that I find really interesting. At first, I thought that it was purely a power thing. I thought that it was something power related. But the statements that Ging gives to these people makes me think that he actually does have the strength to survive the Dark Continent, because we know that Jing's been preparing for it for years. He has more information on it than like any of Beyond's employees do, from what we've seen. And he's also making promises to them. Like if you look at this right hand panel, that one of Beyond's employees is telling Ging this like emotional backstory, and Jing's like, well, don't worry about it, bro. If you're there with me, you're not going to die. I'm gonna make sure you go to the Dark Continent, we achieve this mission, bring back resources, and you're gonna survive all of that. Like if you're sticking with me, you're gonna survive it. Despite Ging knowing exactly how dangerous the Dark Continent is, I think out of anyone going on the trip, it seems like Ging is the most aware of it. And this line of dialogue right here, I've never really seen people talk about this either, but it can be used to scale Ging very high. This line of dialogue can be used to scale Ging very high. So there's this line where he's talking to them about all the, like, a lot of the different dangers on the Dark Continent. He's also listing off like undocumented trips that other people don't know about to the Dark Continent, like Beyond's trip and Netero's trip he went on in his prime. I don't even know how Ging gets this like undocumented knowledge, but he just seems to know everything in the Hunter x Hunter verse. He might be Aizen, who knows, but he just seems to know everything. But he has this line of dialogue here where he's talking about 5 threats that all ranked above the Chimera Ants. Like we have them listed on the left hand here. They're all ranked above the Chimera Ants, who are ranked B rank. And he's talking about the B plus and A rank level threats. And he's calling them the 5 threats. He says, it's a miracle that they haven't wiped out humanity already. Like, that's how powerful these calamities are. And he says there's no good way to deal with them. Best we can do is lock them up and stay away. So the question is, like, how is Ging confidently planning on doing that? Because, like, right after saying this, he's saying, like, if you're with me, I'm not going to let you die. And you're going to go there, you're going to face these things, and you're going to come back alive. Jing's also saying that we can lock them up and stay away. How is he going to lock these, like, potentially Meruem tier plus threats away? How is he going to lock them up? That's something I've never really seen anyone talk about. How is he going to lock them up? Like, there's a couple different ways you could read into that. One, like, if you're, maybe you view this as a highball, but maybe this means maybe Ging thinks he has some kind of plan or ability to lock up like Meruem tier threats away. Yeah, maybe that's what his ability is. His ability would let him lock up these like Meruem tier level threats. Meruem plus possibly. Might be stronger than Meruem level threats, and he thinks he can lock them up and like keep people alive if they encounter them. Even though, like, he knows that just these 5 calamities could have wiped out humanity, and it's a miracle they haven't. He's like, yeah, well, we can still lock them up and stay away. We can't kill them, but we can lock them up. Like, what kind of ability does he actually have? Is it connected to that? Or maybe he thinks, like, with a plan he can do it? What do you guys in the chat think? Yeah, how is he going to lock them up is a big question. But, like, he's saying it pretty confident that, like, that's the best we could do. Like, it's something that's possible. Even though he's scaling them above beasts that killed Netero, which is pretty interesting. And then here's also some dialogue I've never seen people talk about for Ging. This is like this dude here, this dude who kind of looks like Link from like the Zelda games. He's asking Ging, he's like, bro, why are you even here? Like, aren't you a Zodiac? Shouldn't you just leave and be with the Zodiac? Why are you even here? And Ging goes in detail talking about his goals. He says he would gladly help Beyond for free, and his goal is to help Beyond and to deter Pariston. Then he goes into more detail about it, saying like he leans more towards like Beyond. His goals are closer to Beyond's. Beyond just wants to like go and like face the challenges of the Dark Continent because he's just kind of a crazy person. He likes the idea of there being like this insurmountable challenge. Beyond wants to go and like fight those beasts. And Ging is like, he leans more towards Beyond. And then he goes more into detail about it. If you look in the bottom left-hand panel, Ging says, worst case scenario, I don't even have to come back here. this is really interesting because he's telling people like, if you come with me, you're going to survive. But worst case scenario, I'll just stay in the Dark Continent. When we know that his ancestor Don Freaksis has been there for 300 years, maybe that's something Ging wants to do too. Okay, maybe Ging wants to just live the rest of his life in the Dark Continent and meet Don Freaksis. There's a lot of different ways you could interpret this. Honestly, what I don't know. This is kind of like how I interpret it. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comments. Maybe Ging is chasing down Don Freaksis the same way that Gon was chasing down Ging. And he's saying, like, worst case scenario, it might take me hundreds of years to find that guy, so just leave me if it comes down to it. But like all of these different statements, like when you take into take into account the fact that Ging is so knowledgeable of like how dangerous this place is. He knows Prime Netero went there and it was too dangerous for even Prime Netero. He knows all this stuff, still wants to go, still thinks he could lock up these beasts somehow. And is saying he might end up just legit staying there. Like all these different things like heavily imply Ging being super strong. And you could argue potentially even stronger than Netero, potentially. Okay. But let's keep going. Yeah, here's just some more dialogue where they're just straight up saying like going to the Dark Continent is a threat more dangerous than the Chimera ants that killed Netero. So it's like the whole Dark Continent mission is kind of narratively viewed as a mission to surpass Netero anyway. And here's just more like panels showing like Ging is going to great lengths to get here, even though like a couple days prior he was saying he didn't have any of the qualifications. So it brings that into question. Maybe he already really did have the qualifications and was lying. Who knows? Like I'm actually interested to see what you guys think about why he switched up so quickly. Maybe it was just FOMO. Who knows? Okay, so now let's start talking about some Netero scaling. And then after I do the Netero scaling, I'm going to talk about who I think is stronger between the two, and then we'll open it up for debate, okay? So here's some Netero scaling for you. It's straight up confirmed that Netero was the strongest Nen user alive, like the most powerful Nen master. So that's beyond like the most powerful hunter. He was the strongest of like all known human Nen users, but even that's debatable because if Don Freaksis is alive, Don Freaksis is probably low diffing even Prime Netero. So that makes me think like, you know, actually this is something that just dawned on me right now. That's kind of ironic that I'm saying it dawned on me and I'm talking about Don Freaksis, but I don't know if Netero knew about Don Freaksis, bro. Like maybe like you could go and say that Ging knows even more about the Dark Continent than Netero does based on that. You really could make that argument. Like Ging might know even more about the Dark Continent than someone who's freaking been there. But anyway, putting that to the side, Netero says it's been more than half a century since he was the most powerful Nen user. Netero in the Chimera Antark was around 120 years old. And we saw like part of his backstory where he became the #1 hunter at age 50. So that means he stayed like the #1 strongest Nen user for about 10 years or so. He says it was more than half a century. Half a century is 50 years. So maybe like I always say it was about 50 or 60 years ago he was #1. That's usually what I say. And I say it's like from age 50 to age 60 he was the strongest. Then at like age 60 or 61 someone surpassed him, or he just started losing power at that point. We have seen like in Hunter x Hunter, it seems like once you reach a certain age, like around Zeno's age, you start losing a little bit of strength. That's like kind of implied. This is a debatable thing, I'd say. It's implied by the fact that Zeno's like not the head of the family, his son is. And Zeno's like 64. So maybe you can make the argument that around 60, you just start to slowly lose some of your strength in the world of Hunter x Hunter. But anyway, he says like currently he's less than half of his prime. So he could be around 40 to 45% of as strong as he was when he was in his prime. Then we have this line of dialogue from Nove. Oh, yeah, sorry. And then the other line he says that was just a straight up lie. He says that Morel, Nove, and him are probably evenly matched. Then Nove, like a couple of chapters later, is like, bro, he was straight up lying. He was trying to be modest. He's still much stronger than us. That's what you see him saying on the right-hand panel. And that's pretty obvious, too, because it's later stated the Morel and Nove are weaker than the Zodiac. as well. But here's the thing. He doesn't, Morel and Nove don't specifically say that Netero's still the strongest here. He says he was trying to be modest, but he's still much stronger than us. They don't say he was trying to be modest. He's for sure the #1 strongest Nen user still, and he's stronger than us. So it's like, it's a debatable thing exactly where Netero scales, but a lot of people believe he's still amongst like the very top. He's somewhere very close to it, if not just still actually #1. And then we get to see some more like scaling with Netero compared to Morel and Nove, that he's basically just like eclipses them. He basically just eclipses them, right? So Morel and Nove see Netero just charge up his Ren, not even using his Hatsu abilities at all, and Morel's just like shook by it just from seeing Netero's aura, and Colt's like, nah, you're actually fodder compared to the Royal Guard. And this gets Netero hyped up as well. This is also something you can use to to scale up Netero too. This is something you can use to scale up Netero, because when he hears that the Royal Guard are strong enough to kill him, he gets hyped, and he's like, a challenger at my age, that's a good thing. So you could use this to argue that maybe up until now, Netero has never had a challenger strong enough to kill him all this time. But that is debatable too. Like a way you could debate around that, you could just say, no, there are people strong enough to kill him, they just don't want to. Like people like Ging, he could be strong enough to kill Netero, but just wouldn't do it like purely out of respect. So he's not like a proper challenger, because it's like the idea of someone killing him seems to be like what hypes Netero up. And then we also get this line of dialogue here that all of the Zodiac, they're 12 top hunters picked by Netero, and they're all his sparring partners. The reason I'm putting that there is because, like, if they're sparring with Netero, a lot of people believe like they're sparring without Netero using their Hatsu abilities, so they're likely not getting shook the way that Morel and Nove are, and these are just like normal Zodiac members, and Ging scales above a lot of them. A lot of people just think Jing's the strongest of all the Zodiac. And we also get this line of dialogue too that can be used to debate the challenger thing, where Misa Stone, he says like he thinks he can imagine that Netero wanted his own son to like fight him and try and kill him someday, because he's talking about Netero gave his son a restriction from going to the Dark Continent, and Misa Stone's like, I can imagine Netero was half hoping his son would come after his life one day. Like that implies he like beyond could be strong enough to be a challenger, the same way that the Royal Guard were a challenger to him. That's one way you could interpret it, and he was like trying to get beyond to fight him in that same way. And a lot of people think Jing's stronger than Beyond. Okay, so here's something else that you can use for like scaling Beyond. At first they had 3 Zodiac watching him like in his jail cell, and the Zodiac are like, bro, do we really need to use this much manpower to guard him? They're like having a debate about that. Then they switch it up and they just have 1 Zodiac member guard Beyond. Just this like tiger dude, and Beyond's like threatening him, and the tiger dude's not worried at all. So yeah, it's like Beyond might just be relative to the Zodiac, and Ging like is implied to be the strongest of them, right? So, and Beyond might be stronger than Netero. There's like, if you really read like all the Zodiac statements, like you can make an argument that the Zodiac are just actually insane. There's this other line of dialogue here from Pariston where he's talking about Netero, and he compares them directly to the Zodiac. He's like, the former chairman was too powerful. He never understood the weaker hunters. The same goes for all of you. And we know that there's like a power range amongst the Zodiac by quite a bit, with Ging most likely being at the very pinnacle of them all. And he's like saying that you guys are comparable to Netero, all of you. So like, yeah, there's a lot of different like interesting ways you can scale these guys. If I'm just going to, what I would say here for today's debate, the honest answer is you can make an argument for either one winning. Netero has better feats because he's actually fought to like his full strength. Meanwhile, Ging has never even shown his Hatsu ability yet. Jing's never even shown his Hatsu ability. But his lore is just actually insane. His lore is insane, right? So you could make an argument for either one winning. For this debate today, I would say that Ging, what I'll say, like the side I'll take in the debate, is that Ging is above old man Netero, but below prime Netero. And I will also say I don't think Jing's even in his prime yet. From what we've seen, it seems that with Nen, you can keep getting stronger till you're about like, well, we saw Netero, he reached like his true pinnacle at 50. And like when he was in his like, when he was 45, he was like near the limits of his potential. So Nen, it seems to kind of work like real martial arts do, where you just keep getting better and better till you're around like age 45 in terms of like raw skill. So yeah, I don't think Jing's even in his real full potential yet. I think Jing's got like another 10 years, even without getting Dark Continent ingredients. I think Jing's got another 10 years before he's like at his limit. Okay, so yeah, my argument for today, I'm putting Ging above old man Netero, but below prime Netero. That's where I'm putting Ging for the debate. And yeah, we can debate these points. Also, this is something just kind of on a side note. This line of dialogue where Ging is talking to Gon about a world tree, it's like the biggest tree in the known human world for them. And he's like, even though this is the biggest tree like in the world, like this known world, it's actually like a complete runt that should have been way bigger, because it's like not growing in the Dark Continent. The ones in the Dark Continent are way bigger than this. It's like full potential got stunted basically because it wasn't it didn't get the nutrients it needed, right? I think that this is actually kind of like a metaphor for Gon and Ging. Like Gon and Ging just seem like they're kind of fundamentally built different. If they stay in the human world, they'll be the strongest of the human world, but they're not at their full like freaksus potential. They need to go to the Dark Continent to like become who they're really meant to become. I've like viewed it as a metaphor for them because they just seem different than everybody else. Yeah, and then you just see their ancestor Don Freaksis is like the one human who survived there for 300 years, and it kind of lines up with Gon throughout the entire series being stated to have bottomless potential. And you see Ging just pulling off these insane feats, like being a top 5 Nen user in your early 20s just for no reason, really. Like I've kind of always viewed this as like a metaphor for them. That like, yeah, they're freak, like just the Freaksis bloodline. See, like the Freaksis blood is just different, basically. And like if they stay in the human world, they'll be the strongest of all humans. But that's nothing compared to what they would be if they just went to the Dark Continent. That's kind of how I view it as a metaphor. Let me know what you guys think about that. But anyway, let's get into the debate portion. So one more time, let me show you guys how to do it. Let's say you're for people who just hopped in here, let me show you. So you go to my channel, then you click on posts, and you scroll down. This is the most recent post here. You click on the comments, and then you click on this link, and that'll take you to the debate tab. Okay, and just one more time so that you guys understand the position that I'll be taking in the debate today. I'm saying that Ging is stronger than Old Man Netero, but weaker than Prime Netero. So that's the stance I'll take in the debate today. So if you disagree with that, let me know. You can join. Looks like my computer is struggling. Here, let me go ahead and do this. All right, so I'm about to open up the Discord here. Let me go ahead and grab my phone so I can do that. Excuse me 1 second. We'll start the debate portion. All right, and by the way, how's the audio sounding? Was it still cutting out for you guys? Because at the beginning of the stream, people were saying the audio was cutting out. Is it still cutting out now? Let me know in the chat. Here, let me refresh the chat here. See if it's actually like. Is the audio cutting out, guys? Or has the audio been good? Because we're about to start the debates now. So I'm hoping the audio sounds good for that so you guys can hear everybody. Okay, you said no audio issues? Okay, sick. All right, so yeah, let's start the debates here. So, where is it? I'm hopping into debate voice chat 1. I see a few people are in there already. So, let's go ahead and do this, okay? Yo, what's up, everybody? Are you guys able to hear me?
Yo, I can hear you.
What's up, Ashura? How's it going?
Everything's fine other than my sleep schedule.
Yeah, you said it's like...
This is all your fault.
I'm sorry. You said it's like 4 a.m.
You're not sorry.
You're right. You're right. No, it's crazy. 4 a.m., man. Thanks for still tuning in anyway.
Nah, bro, I like your content for real.
Thanks, bro. But yeah, sure. We can let you go first since it's so late for you, man. So what are your thoughts on here, hold on. Let me do like time limits too. Let's do like 7 minutes each person, I guess. And maybe we'll do like multiple rounds depending on, we'll just see how people are feeling. So let me get a stopwatch. Stopwatch. Okay, so yeah, let's do 7 minutes each. So you could go first, Ashura. What are your thoughts on Ging versus Netero? Like, old man, prime Netero, Ging. Like, how do you think that poll goes?
To me, there's like 3 versions of Netero, right? Not just old man and not just prime. There is prime Netero. Actually, there's 4 Neteros. Netero when he was in his younger years, when he faced the Dark Continent the first time. The Netero that actually became prime Netero. Old man Netero when he got rusty and then trained Netero to train Meruem. I think Ging is only stronger than one of those guys, and it's the Netero that got weaker. Old man Netero that got weaker because he didn't have anyone interesting to fight. That's who I think he's weaker than.
Okay, yeah, I can understand that. I mean, like, I agree with that. I think at most that you could say is that Jing's stronger than like all the old man versions. I don't think he's on prime Netero's level yet, just because like Netero seems like he was also very talented. Well, it's kind of hard to really base it off of what we saw in the manga, but like the data books say that he's supposed to be an extremely talented guy. I don't know how people feel about the data books though, because I don't even know if Togashi wrote those. But he has like the same level of talent as like Gon does. Well, the same tier. They both have like 5 out of 5 for talent. But and then like when he reached his prime, I think he went beyond his potential when he did that. Something like that. He went like beyond his physical limits, either beyond his limits or beyond his potential.
Yeah, it stated he went beyond his physical limits and completely broke through his potential. Meruem said, yo, you broke through your potential by pure mad-headed hard work, bro. This is the first human we've ever heard said that about anyone.
Yeah, so, and also, like, there's a line of dialogue saying that for Bisky, too, that Bisky went, like, beyond the limits of her, like, potential, too. It's said by, like, Beanalt, but she just has a dirt, stupid, like, Hatsu that's not for fighting. If she had a Hatsu, I think she'd be a top 5 Nen user, honestly. But with Netero, yeah, I mean, I might even agree with you, but it's just, like, we have no real feats for Ging, like, it's all just narrative statements. I would just say, oh, go ahead. What are you saying?
I kind of want to go to Netero's narrative versus Jing's narrative, because there's a couple of statements that can go against some of Jing's arguments, right? Mm-hmm. First of all, it's like when Ging met Hisoka. When Netero met Hisoka, goddamn, I need some sleep. When Netero met Hisoka, right? Mm-hmm. He looked at him like father. He didn't even recognize him. And bro is Zodiac level. We figure out that, yo, he can just read the Zodiacs and he's stronger than most of them. And Netero did not care at all. Bro got an actual... You said something. You were gonna say something.
Oh, I would just say I don't know if he's actually stronger than most. He's strong. He gave himself like a higher rating than 3 of them, but there were still like 9 other ones he didn't see. So we don't 100% know if he was stronger than most, but he might be. He might be.
He's stronger than a few of them. He's at least Zodiac level, but Zodiac level opponents does not matter to Netero because Netero. Okay, you said something about maybe the reason why he's not finding good opponents is because the opponents he wants to fight are not trying to kill him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hisoka would not hesitate to kill Netero, and Netero is still bored out of his mind. He didn't even acknowledge the question.
Yeah, that's a good point. I agree with that. But that doesn't, like, just because, like, some of the... Because that is a good point. Like, based off of that scale, at least 3 of the Zodiac wouldn't be able to kill Netero either. If you take it, like, 100% literal that, like, Hisoka was actually ranking, like, their actual overall power level and not just their aura, then, yeah, that would be true. But there's a couple different, like, ways you could counter that. You could say stuff like... Maybe he was just measuring their aura and, like, with their Hatsu abilities, they're dangerous enough to do something to Netero. Or you could say something like, maybe just those 3 were the weakest 3 Zodiac, and all the other ones could be dangerous enough to, like, do something. And also, you could make an argument that Ging is just the strongest of all of the Zodiac, so even if none of them could do anything to Netero, Ging still might be able to.
All right, now that's where I want to get into. When Netero was fighting Merwin, there was a scene where he's like, when did I start letting people attack me first? He even did this to P2. He let P2 attack him first because he genuinely did not see them as a threat. He says this in his own thoughts, so we know it's not a lie. And the only person he remembers attacking first after all these years is Merwin. And he spars all the Zodiacs daily. He finds none of them worthy to actually put the first foot forward.
Yeah, that's a good argument. No, that's a good argument. I mean, you could just say, like, maybe none of them outclassed him to the point like Meruem did, because, like, the line of dialogue that they said for Meruem was, like, Netero was like a toddler compared to him. So, I don't think...
Yeah.
I don't know if any of the Zodiac, including Ging, would be like so strong that Netero would be a toddler compared to him. Maybe they're like, I could even make an argument maybe Ging is like has a little less aura, but his Hatsu ability could still kill him. Like it's tough though. Like but that is a good point. I think that would more just mean like no one has outclassed him to a point where like Netero legit felt like insulted. Because in that fight, I think like Meruem was like kind of getting on his nerves, like with how much he was looking down on him. I don't think even Ging, would look down on Netero.
Yeah, he was low-key getting on his bad side for real, like pissed him off. But like, it's not just that. Further on into his monologue, he's like, when have I gotten used to seeing people bow and kneel to me? Even to this day, he's gotten used to seeing people like give up after he beats their ass, and they give up and they put their hands on and say, yo, teach me please. He's gotten so used to that, he starts getting bored and he gets angry with himself and angry with all the past opponents. Like, when did I get used to this bullshit? Like, when did I get used to being such a nice human being? Like, I need to be a hater. I need some more anger in my life.
I know why.
Yeah. Yo.
I can say why right now.
Wait,
Lilo,
what's
the reason why he got this way is because the ref was not present in most of those fights. If the ref was there, it would have been a different story.
You know, you might be right about that, Pope Pedro. But sure, go ahead and finish your point, man, because it's been 8 minutes, but I want to hear like this last thing you're saying.
Like, he doesn't. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, he did not care about. He felt bored. He felt bored even to this day, and the reason why he got so weak is because it stated, yo, when you keep fighting people weaker than you, you get rusty.
That is true.
You lose your strength. It's stated in the data books. It's stated by Togashi written. Your skill level drops when you fight weaker people, and it's stated in the manga. The reason why he got weaker isn't just because of old age, because he trained back to closer to his prime self, right? He trained back a bit afterwards. He got weaker because he's only fighting the Zodiacs, and the Zodiacs are not strong enough to keep him up. They just aren't strong enough to allow him to keep his gains up, and he's losing it.
That's a really good possibility too. But what are your thoughts on like the idea of Misastome saying like Netero might have wanted Beyond to try and kill him? What are your thoughts on that?
He wanted him to grow to be able to kill him. He wanted him to get stronger, and he had confidence in his son. He named him Beyond. He hoped he would get strong enough to kill him, and he was just waiting on that day. But Beyond never really wanted to kill his dad. It seems like he really did love his dad. And you see, bro, Yama, I think you in the chat, right? Yeah, he ain't a deadbeat. He ain't like fucking Ging bum ass. He actually loves his kid.
Yeah, that could be right. Those are good arguments, man. I mean, like, because at the end of the day, it's like Netero does just have better feats because we haven't seen Ging do anything yet. But, because, like, to just make an argument for Ging, it's more just based on his lore, and, like, that's kind of all you can go on. And also the idea of him, like, knowing about the undocumented trips that, like, a potentially prime Netero went on. Ging saying he could handle it, he could like capture these things, he might be able to contain these things that were like too much for prime Netero to handle. Like those are kind of the only arguments you can use for Ging. It's all just based on narrative, but the truth is Netero does just have the better feat. So yeah, you made some good points, man. Those are all good points. And I actually do think there's probably some truth to that like him sparring the Zodiac was not enough for him to like stay at his pinnacle. Like he seemed to have gotten stronger just locking in for like a week on his own than he did like sparring with the Zodiac all that time. So those are all pretty good points. But also I think just one last thing I want to say to Ashura. I think the best point you made though is like when he fought Meruem, he was saying like he can't even remember the last time he attacked first. So that would imply like he let all the Zodiac attack him first too. Maybe even Ging. But I would just say that means like if I'm arguing for Ging, right, I would say maybe that just means Ging would be a little stronger, but not like massively eclipsing him the way Meruem did to the point where he can kind of like look down on him. But I don't know. Those are all good points that you made though. But
yeah, thanks, man. You made that point too.
May I add something to what Ashura said, Lilo?
Yeah, Pope Pedro, you can go next if you want.
Well, I kind of just wanted to provide headcanon here and say this.
Oh, all right.
Some of the best athletes in the world had absent fathers. I think Michael Vick, Allen Iverson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, like we can go through all these, and I think Ging saw this trend, and he said to himself, if I want my child to succeed in life, I must let him go. Wow. And he made the hardest decision to walk away from his family. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but just listen to this headcanon. Not only did it serve Gon to where he would become strong, Ging himself always wanted to go back home, but he's been fighting that. And that fight created struggle. And in this world of Nen, struggle will always provide a stronger outcome, a stronger being. So the reason why I would say you're correct, Ging would actually beat Netero, is simply this. Netero is probably an outstanding father figure. Ging is not.
So you're saying that Ging got a deadbeat buff?
Yo, bro, Ging winning off a deadbeatness. This is crazy.
It's possible.
Think about it, man. Just think about it. Just look at the world of sports. Some of the best athletes, absent fathers.
I'm seeing the vision, bro.
Yeah, the deadbeat buff might be real.
Here's a counter argument, though. Goku, despite popular narratives, is a great father. Also, like, one of the strongest characters in all of fiction. So explain that one.
Oh, he killed his own father. So he got the struggle buff even more than Ging did. So it makes sense.
That's probably the next arc. That's probably the next arc. Ging will fight Gon, and he will tell Gon, I've been doing this all for you. You must take me out now.
Imagine.
I could see it. It's possible. It's definitely possible. You know, that's a good theory there.
Also,
go ahead. Huh?
I want to add one more thing. It's honestly a request. Lilo, in the future, whenever we make these fights, I think it should be a tradition of the channel. Obviously, you can veto it if you want. I'm just putting it forward. But we always say the ref is present. And that way you can say the ref's inability is like to bloodlust each character, so that we can say the ref invokes his inability that bloodlusts both opponents so that they go at each other full bore. So we don't have to worry about attitude or demeanor in the story.
You're talking about the ref that like Hisoka and Frollo kill in their fight.
Yes.
He's just lurking in the background.
Arguably the best character in the whole series, and I have a theory on that if you want to hear it.
You know,
Top one in the verse.
I am interested, but maybe a little later. That, you know, not a bad idea. Well, let's see. So, Anno, would you like to go? Or Pedro, did you have like any points you wanted to add for the like debate portion?
No. I only wanted to throw headcanon and provide some brevity and laughter.
Oh, very, very fair. Very nice. All right, so let's move over to how about Anno? Anno, did you want to share anything?
Yeah, what's up? I guess, I wanted to talk about this. I think the whole Ging versus Netero thing, it's like, watching your streams and stuff, I feel like the narrative, at least from your camp, has shifted so far in the, like, Ging Zodiac camp that it almost makes Netero look bad. Like, all the stuff you hear about the Zodiacs, and to be fair, I mean, it is in the manga, it's not like you're making it up, but it's like, a lot of the stuff, it's like, it almost paints it like, at least as a collective, the Zodiacs are, like, way stronger than Netero himself, and it's, like, really weird, because then you also have the scene where Hisoka's sizing him up, and it's like, I don't think Hisoka's doing anything to Netero, so it's weird that he's looking at these guys, he's like, I'm not impressed.
Yeah, and I don't think, like... Well, I would say, I think if all 12 Zodiac jump Netero, I think they're beating him for sure. But, like, individually, I don't think that the Zodiac are stronger than Netero is. I think really the only one that there's even a question about it would be Ging. I think I would say maybe the like top 3 guys might be able to like hold their own with him for a little while, but I think he's beating all of them, and the only one who like would have a chance at beating him would be Ging. That's kind of how I view it. Like maybe Sayu and Botobai might be able to hold their own for a little while. We don't know what Botobai's abilities even are. We just know he's the oldest Zodiac and a triple star terrorist hunter, which is crazy. But yeah, I don't know.
That actually is crazy that he's like a triple star. Like he hunts terrorists. Like that's the dude they would send in if like Krollo blew up a political building. Like they'd send him in to go deal with Krollo.
Yeah, he's pretty crazy. So I don't know. I wish we got to see these guys actually fight, so they weren't just like pure narrative lore merchants. But unfortunately, like we've never seen them do anything other than just like not be impressed by things that killed Netero. That's all we've seen them do. But
yeah.
But
I guess what I wanted to say was I think it's like people don't emphasize enough how crazy the fight with like Netero and Meruem is. Where like basically until Meruem can calculate how to get through the defense, Netero's basically invincible. Like he might as well have the infinity, because until he can find the perfect path, he literally can't hit him. Like he can't do anything until he finds like the perfect line.
That is true, and I mean that's that's also like a really good thing for Netero because it shows like his speed seems to be like his strongest attribute because it was enough to keep someone away who was like massively stronger than him. Like the difference between a toddler and a full-grown adult is crazy. And like it was basically like a toddler with the ability to just slap full-grown adults around. Like that's like what Netero's Hatsu is. So yeah, it's just a really strong Hatsu ability, and he's just very skilled on top of it. So he's super dangerous. I mean, I understand why a lot of people view him as top 1, and he really still could be. The only thing that like even makes it a chance that Ging would be stronger is just like Netero's past his prime, while Ging is like becoming his prime, and he just has crazy statements from a long time ago, and is preparing to handle things that like Netero couldn't handle. So like I would say this, like if Jing's not stronger than Netero now, then like by the end of the Dark Continent arc, he definitely should be. Like I think it wouldn't make sense if he wasn't. But sorry, what were you saying?
I don't know. I was just saying one counterpoint, I guess, about the Dark Continent stuff is this is like a vibe almost more than a Boolean argument. But I feel like with the Dark Continent, like everyone who's going in there as confident they are, I think they're in over their heads just because like they know the dangers, but I feel like it's almost like the gravity of it isn't setting in or something. Because like if there's really just all this shit on the Dark Continent, it's like 100 times bigger than the mainland. And there's just like, there could be threats they've never seen that make even the threats they know about look like ants. Like there could be a threat on the Dark Continent that's like, it could just blow up the planet or something whenever it wants. Like they don't know what's on there. So it's kind of foolhardy for them to even think they can do this anyway.
Honestly, I think you're right about that because like do you remember that, wait, do I have that panel where Ging is talking about the undocumented trip that Netero went on, and they saw beasts that were just like insane? Do you remember that? Like,
yeah, he's like looking at him. He's like, Netero was like, I shouldn't even be here. What are we even doing here? Like, this is crazy.
I think the only one who knows about that is Ging. I don't think any of the Zodiac know about that. So like, I think you might be right, man. Like, they seem to think they can handle the things, the 5 calamities. They seem to think like they can handle that somehow with like teamwork or like a plan or something. But I don't know. I also have the vibe that like those undocumented ones would just be too much for them. I think that's going to be like, if we ever get to see that, I think that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, to be honest, even like Don Freaksis, like I'm sure Don Freaksis would be like absurdly strong, like maybe the strongest character if we saw him. I feel like he's only surviving off of like just wit and like knowing how the Dark Continent works. Like he knows like don't go over there. If you see that thing, just run away. Don't go near it. It'll like rip your head off if you look at it funny. It's like a Medusa or something. It'll turn you to stone. Like there could be anything there. There's no way to know what's there.
Can I give headcanon for that, Lilo?
In one moment, I want Anno to finish his point first. But
yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. I was just saying that like I feel like the Dark Continent is like it's like unimaginably dangerous. Even like the people who have went there like don't really fully grasp just how bad it is.
Yeah, I mean because I think like so I just pulled up the panel where Jing's talking about the undocumented trip. I don't think any of the Zodiac know about this. So if they met these beasts, I think honestly the Zodiac, like half of them might just straight up die in this encounter, or they're just gonna have to run away because Netero, Zig Zoldyck, and Lynette, all 3 of them like ran away and survived that. I think so. This might have been Prime Netero too, who saw this and is like, this place is off the charts. It's too much for us to handle. I think that's gonna be too much for the Zodiac too. But I also think like that's kind of an upscale. Ging is just straight up a lore merchant. Like the fact that he knows about this and no one else seems to know, and Jing's still like, yeah, but if you go with me, you're not gonna die. You'll be all right. That, I don't know. That's kind of a pretty big. That's a big thing to say. I don't think Ging is just like an idiot, especially like since he seems to know more about the Dark Continent than everyone else. I don't know if Ging would be able to handle this either, though. Like, maybe it is what you said. His idea is just, like, avoid these things.
Yeah, I think that... I guess I wanted to get back real quick to just, like, in terms of the fight, right? One thing to note is, like, doesn't Ging say, he's like, when he says how he copies moves, he's like, I copy specifically moves that are, like, punches or something, or they're, like, punch-based?
Yeah, punch. He said, like, generally any punching ability. And it makes me wonder if he could copy the Buddha hand, too, to be honest.
Yeah, I think that's like the biggest thing. It's like weird, like it works for Ging, but I think it also works against Ging, because to me that sounds like, and I guess I'm not sure, but it sounds like he's probably mainly a melee fighter, which is not good if you have to fight Netero, because the only way to hit him is to get in close then. And like even Meruem, who's probably like, even at the highest you could upscale Ging, I don't think you could say, oh yeah, he's just faster and stronger than Meruem, who made Netero look like a toddler. Like, there's no way Ging has, like, that much aura.
Yeah, I don't think he is either. He could really have any kind of power, though, and there are ways, like, you can get past that. Like, I mean, for example, people who could turn invisible, like, stuff like that. It's kind of like a cheap way to get around someone being faster than you. And we just don't know what Jing's abilities are. I wish we could see them by now, but I don't know. There's a chance we'll never see them, you know?
I think that was one thing I wanted to say, though, was like in terms of ability versus ability, like we don't know what Jing's abilities are, but Netero should at least know most of them. Like, he might not know all of them because Jing's out there probably copying more moves, or maybe he made more moves. But like, Netero should probably know, like, generally his fighting style and like what Ging is gonna do, because they've trained together. So it's not like he'd be completely caught off guard by anything that Ging did. Probably, like, he'd probably see Jing's like attacks coming. And I don't think Ging, if like he does just have to melee hit him, there's no way he's doing that, because like he's really smart, but he doesn't have the raw like processing power of Meruem, who could calculate like millions of moves.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Yeah, and it's just a shame, because it really is just lore versus feats right now. And I saw someone in the chat say, like, they think that, oh, yo, hold up. Someone's playing music. Okay,
Sorry.
Oh, no, you're good. Someone in the chat said they think that Jing's ability is probably the spirit gun from Yu Yu Hakusho. I hope it is. That'd be cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, this is where the headcanon is pivotal.
Okay.
I think once we get to the Dark Continent...
One second, Pedro. 1 second, bro. Anno, did you want to just say one last thing, or was that everything you wanted to say?
I mean, I guess that was pretty much it. That was just my main point, was I think, like, even with lore, like, yeah, Ging does have some stuff that makes him really impressive, especially the Dark Continent stuff. I just think, like, you could also argue with, like, all Netero's statements are, like, maybe not equally as impressive just because of how scary the Dark Continent is, but just, like, it's also very impressive, so I feel like it's hard to say just off that he would win in, like, a pure fight against a dude who already knows, like, his abilities, probably.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty crazy that Netero went to the Dark Continent and survived, actually, so that's a pretty good thing, too, but those are good points, man. Pope Pedro, you wanted to share something real quick, and then we'll go to the next person.
Yes, sir. It's very quick. It was about Dawn Freaks. So, going off what we already have all agreed to earlier, which is, if you are a neglected child, you will more than likely be a great warrior. That is times 10 for grandparents. Case in point, Genryu Yusai Yamamoto from Bleach. We've never seen even his wife, even if he had one, right? Never seen a child, no bloodline, no lineage, and he was the strongest in the Gotei 13 for the 1,000 years that it existed, right? Dawn Freaks probably told Ging, forget about me, take whatever that is in your hand, which is the child gone at that moment, and get away from me. And he erased Jing's mind of who he actually was. And this guy is probably so buff Like, and this is kind of not the headcanon part, but you know the nitro rice that they talked about that gives you longevity?
Yeah.
He probably eats that stuff like for breakfast. And all these, there's probably other items that just buff a nin user throughout their existence to the point where they will become like Meruem if they survive long enough and they just are living in the Dark Continent long enough. So it's going to become a place where everybody just gets super strong. It's going to become like a Zenkai boost if you make it.
So you're saying he has the deadbeat buff and Zenkai boost?
Correct.
It's a possibility. It is a possibility. Well, let's see. So who wanted to go next here? Maybe yeah, but who will want to go next? Anyone could speak up.
I had a couple things to say.
Okay, yeah. You could go next, and then and we'll just keep going from there. And I saw a Patho carry hopped in, but he just left. But hopefully he comes back. But yeah, you could go ahead, bro.
After that, can we go into dragon physiology, Lilo?
You know, I'm not so sure about the dragon physiology for today. Maybe we'll do a separate stream for that. But yeah, let's go ahead.
Sir.
Let's go. Apollyon, you can go ahead and say your point.
Okay. So basically, the whole Hisoka argument, I agree with you with the take that he just didn't know their Hatsu. Because, like, the Hatsu changes everything. I think it was just, like, aura capacity. Because, like, the monkey zodiac, right? Even if he had, like, lower, like, Nen, like, capacity, his Hatsu suit, like, giga broken for any, like, 1v1 fight. It's, like, guaranteed win con, basically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what I think, too.
I feel like...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. And the whole, like... I agree with you 100% that Prime Netero beats Ging as he is now. But Old Man could beat him, and I think it's because, like, his whole Dark Continent surpassing Netero thing is, like, in my opinion, it's because, like, Netero, like, that wasn't his goal. He wanted, like, a 1v1 fight, not, like, versus nature. It's, like, an MMA fighter versus, like, wilderness dude. Like, of course they're not going to succeed in, like, the other's profession. And I think Netero is just, like, the perfect, like, 1v1 merchant, basically. Like, best, like, fighter. And Ging is, like, the best, like, explorer dude. Suited for, like, surviving the Dark Continent.
I could see that, too.
And Netero just doesn't have that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that might actually just be completely right, to be honest. Because, yeah, Netero said something like that. He was, like, he didn't want to be fighting nature itself. He wanted just a 1v1 super strong guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
whole,
agree
like,
with that.
Oh,
go ahead. No, you're good.
Continue. I don't know. The whole, like, I didn't know about the whole, like, Netero, like, sparring with weaker people made him weaker thing, but, like, it adds up a lot now, like, in hindsight. Also, Ging just, like, I don't know if it's said or not, but, like, he just wasn't around much to spar with Netero, because he wasn't around much in general. He was, like, doing his own thing.
Yeah, that's honestly a good argument you could make. Like, maybe Ging never even participated in the sparring because he just doesn't, like, show up to things. There's, like, a line of dialogue about that when all the Zodiac met. They were like, oh, even Jing's here. Like, he usually isn't. So, I mean, you could make an argument that he just doesn't participate in what he's supposed to do most of the time.
Yeah. That's, like, basically Ging, like, overall, like, more powerful, like, stronger, I guess, but, like, not in the 1v1, but, like, in, like, the most other aspects.
Yeah,
like, survivability-wise.
Yeah, that's very possible, man. And I wish we could just see what his ability is, bro. That would be sick. But,
Yeah, unless he has, like, the spirit gun that, like, one-shots the island, GG. Other than that, like, it's all speculation of how Ging could win. It's like the whole Mihawk versus Kaido or whatever.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of like scaling Mihawk. It's kind of like Mihawk versus Kaido, or Mihawk versus like Whitebeard or something. It's just like pure speculation. But and I was looking right now for the panel where it talks about, like, if you fight weaker people, you get weaker. And it's in Greed Island. Oh yeah, he says it right here. He said, so it's based on Tesgera. He said he's like lost his fighting instincts, and he's saying this is what I get for being overly cautious and choosing battles, and in choosing only battles I can win. So he's saying like he lost his fighting instincts because he was just fighting people weaker than himself. So like, oh wait, I'm kind of echoing, but like you could use that to say that's what happened to Netero. Like maybe he just knew he would win against most of the Zodiac that he was sparring with, so he wasn't really like honing himself. Or you could make the argument like maybe the Zodiac weren't going all out either. Like maybe it was just like playful sparring, and
I feel like they all have at least some sort of, or like the ones that fight at least have some sort of like not zero hand level, but like similar to that, like conditional and ability, like I might actually lose here, so like I might as well like pull out the like 8th gate of death or whatever.
Yeah, like a trump card. I mean, that's a smart thing to do if you're a Nen user, quite frankly. Like, it would just make sense that most of them would have something like that.
Yeah, that's mostly it. I feel like in the actual 1v1, Netero wins, but over like from what Ging is trying to do, he's like 100% better than Netero.
Yeah, and I do
think it just wasn't like Netero's whole goal.
And I do think, like I said earlier, I do think even if Netero's above him like a little bit right now, by the end of the Dark Continent arc, like Ging should be stronger if we ever get that arc finished, you know.
Yeah. Pray for Togashi like being able to consistently write again. Anyways, that's pretty much everything I had to say.
No, those are good points, man. Thank you for sharing them. But
do you want the head canon on Togashi's state?
No, I'm good on that.
Wait, can I add something to Apon's? What's your name, bro?
My fault is Apollon.
Apollon, okay, Apollon. Can I add something to Apollon's thing?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Remember, just think about Leo's Hatsu by itself and how much better it is than Netero's Hatsu for surviving, just by itself.
I don't know if it would.
Am I echoing?
No, you're good.
No, that makes sense. He has like the whole wall hacks and everything, basically.
He doesn't have to get close to any god level beast. He doesn't have to touch any poisonous shit. He doesn't have to come in contact with anything. He doesn't have to. Just with Leo's abilities alone, he's much better survivor.
It would be
Imagine if there's some Nen.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. My fault.
He also doesn't have to listen to the ref.
But what were you saying, Ashura?
I'm like, he's just simply a better survivor because Netero is only for the squabbles. Netero doesn't do this running shit. Netero doesn't do none of this hiding or sneaking or thinking. He's like, yo, I see you, I squabble. The only reason I use my intelligence is to get into squabbles, nothing else. So that's the reason why Ging is overall a better person for the Dark Continent, and it's overall smarter for Ging to be there with his squad instead of Netero to be there. Netero just get into fights and get everybody else except himself killed.
You know, I was something you had just said. Like Ging using Leorio's ability could actually be a good way for him to like bypass the Buddha hands too. Like just make fists appear like below him and just punch him, you know? Like he doesn't necessarily have to bypass the Buddha hands. He can just like teleport fists next to him, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
But
I still think he gets but
I think if they fight like at the lowest low ball that I think would make sense in the story is that even if Ging fought the Netero that Meruem fought, I think it's still going to be extremely close. I don't think that's going to be easy for Netero at all. It just wouldn't really make sense to me for Netero to be able to easily defeat any of the top 5 Nen users, actually. I think all of whoever they are, we don't even know who they are. I think it would all be challenging.
That definitely like zero hand usage.
Probably. Yeah, I think it's just going to be extreme diff fight. But yeah, sorry, your other name is KK?
Hisoka? Not just because when Hisoka was like measuring their strength in the election arc, but do you remember in the first Hunter exam when he's like eyeing Netero and he's like, oh, the person I want to fight the most is you. And I feel like if Netero was like way stronger at that time, because I feel like at that time he was probably like relative to the Zodiacs that he was sparring with. I was like, okay, so maybe at that time Netero wasn't that strong. And even during the Chimera Ant arc, he was saying he was like, oh, I'm around the level of Novin Morel, which I think he was like lying. He was definitely, at that time, he was like that much stronger than them, if that makes any sense.
It makes some sense. I mean, oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah, and I think just only after like he was doing that training to like fight Merom, where he actually got like, I think they even stated it. It's like, oh, now he's like closer to his like half of his prime or something, right? After like actually training.
Sorry, you said sorry, could you repeat that last part? What you just said? You said he was back to half his prime after training. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I think they said something like that in the manga. Like after training, he's like now like around half of his prime or something.
I think there was a line saying like he's getting his instincts back, something like that.
Or something like that, right?
Yeah, I just remember them saying that he was less than half his prime before he started like training again. Then he like, there's a line of dialogue where he's just like killing a bunch of Chimera ants and he's like, I'm starting to get like in the groove of things again. Then he goes like on the mountaintop and like meditates more. But I don't know if they like specifically say like how close he was to his prime after that. But
so you guys don't remember the original? Do you want me to give you my headcanon on what was stated?
No, I'm good on the headcanon. Thank you. But this is something I just saw right now with Tez Guerra. He says it would take him months to get his instincts back. But Tez Guerra obviously isn't Netero. Maybe Netero can just do it faster. But
Netero can probably just get his instincts back way faster.
It might,
so, yeah.
But
I think him sparring with the Zodiacs definitely made him weaker. And I think it's like, you know, with Hisoka being like, I think a decent gauge of strength. Like, I don't think he's like completely wrong when he was assessing the Zodiacs, or even during the first arc when he was assessing Netero, thinking, oh, maybe I can fight him. So because of that, I think Hisoka's probably like Zodiac level, like around there.
Another thing I was thinking is maybe like, I mean, him getting, so like, all we know for sure is that Netero said like he was less than half his prime. So we know he lost like half of his strength, but we don't know exactly how he lost it. Like maybe I don't know. It wouldn't really make sense if he lost aura. Like I don't think like your total aura would just drop, but maybe like your aura output drops if you don't like keep training
it. Your output drops. I believe that.
I could see that. I mean, because it's like specifically stated by Knuckle that you have to train to like increase it. Maybe if he just stopped training and just started coasting. And also, it seems like just getting old. Like he said it was old age that like was the reason he gave. He's like, old age is annoying, something like that. So, or maybe you could just say his physical strength without Nen is like half.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what he's saying.
Yeah, I think I believe more like his Nen output probably got weaker, since I think you do need to like train it consistently to, you know, increase it. So probably not training it would just make it go down.
Yeah, and I do think I do agree with you though. Like when it comes to where Hisoka ranks amongst the Zodiac, I don't think he would beat all of them. I think there's a few that would beat him, but it's debatable though, because like he was looking at them like they weren't that big of a deal. But it's hard to say what he was actually measuring, right? It was just like Hisoka's weird like own power scaling he was doing in his head. There's so many different ways you could view it. Like maybe he was comparing them to Crollo. Maybe he was comparing them just in raw aura, or maybe
it was just comparing them to himself, right, in terms of raw aura. if I had to guess.
Yeah, that's kind of what I lean towards too. He was just like viewing himself like, I have this much aura. He has like 90% as much as me, 80%. So maybe that's what it was. Or maybe he was just 100% right. Maybe he was just like, no, these three really are just straight up weaker than me and everything.
And I think it's probably believable because you got guys in the Zodiac like Mizai Storm who's like impressed by Kurapika doing stuff. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
That's true. Also, his ability's kind of good though. Like he can just freeze you in place, and I don't know how to break out. Like that was only one of his cards. He might have other like crazy ones. Like the ability to just free, like, and that's kind of the other thing too. Is like if Hisoka is just measuring aura, like he could still lose to some of these guys, even if he ranks above them, because like that's what happened to Kurapika and Uvagin anyway. It was like,
Sure.
like imagine if Uvagin was just doing that same ranking. Like all those Zodiac members might be like freaking 40s or 50s to him, but he might still just get like slammed.
Yeah. I guess with that being said, I definitely think that Ging is way stronger than like any of the Zodiacs like in the room. Like, of course, he's stated as a top 5 Nen user, so that can include like Zoldix, like Silva, or like any other people who we probably don't even know about in the Hunter x Hunter verse, right? So
True. Yeah, that would
I think
include
that
like
statement
everyone.
was also done like when he was like still on like Greed Island or something, or like a long time ago. So he's probably only gone stronger since then.
Yeah, true.
But whether he wins, I'm honestly kind of 50-50 on it. I know you're saying you think that all the Zodiac could beat Netero, but I'm not even sure about that. Like, do you think 12 Hisokas could beat Netero?
No, but it's just like
I think he like just outstats them.
I don't think 12 Hisokas would beat Netero, but the reason I lean towards saying like all the Zodiacs together, especially with Ging, would win is just like them combining their crazy abilities together. I think a lot of them would have hacks abilities because like we've only seen like 2 of them, and both of them were really hacks based. Like one of them is just an ability where like he freezes you in place with his cards, and then the other one he can make you blind, deaf, can't speak in 3 hits. Like those 2 together are already a big challenge. Like if Netero's frozen and he can't see or hear, like that's kind of a challenge. I don't know. It's kind of wild.
Yeah, it is kind of wild.
And then you have people like Ging who like has stolen Leorio's ability now, and he can use it to like he doesn't necessarily need to like figure out how to get past the Buddha hands the same way Meruem did. He can just like make a punch up here right next to Netero and stuff. And I think one of the Zodiacs has like poison stuff. We don't really know, but like that snake girl.
The snake lady?
Yeah, I imagine she. So I don't know. I think they would be able to find a way to win. Otherwise, I just have no understanding of why they'd be so confident taking this mission. It would just make no sense, really. Because they're all like, yeah, Netero got cooked doing this, and none of them are even slightly worried. They're like, oh, we'll be all right. Like,
I mean, I feel like they probably also haven't seen Netero at full power, or even at Netero at the power level that he was fighting Meruem at, right? So in their minds, like, oh, you know, Netero isn't like that strong, but they probably saw the Netero that fought Meruem, they'd be like, holy shit, no, we wouldn't be able to. I think that's part of it.
Can I disagree with that?
that's what. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah, because that was a full like 7 minutes anyway. So yeah, Ryu, Sai, you can go, and then Apothecary, he was messaging me. I think he wanted to go, but I don't know where he is now. But if he's hearing this, you can hop back in and you could still go.
I think he said we can go to Dragon Physiology if we
No,
need some time.
I don't think he said anything about that. All right, Rio, yeah, you could.
Stuff for Gene, but
Yeah.
for that point, Cav, I don't think that's the case because we clearly see when P2 had, when P2 had used her in and it hit his Hatsu, Xeno's Hatsu, she clearly could discern how strong he was off of his Hatsu alone. You know what I'm saying? So it could have been that they had a name clash and they can tell that they're outclassed if they are outclassed by him immediately off that point.
You get what I'm saying? Because these are high tier hunters. So if they have that Ning clash, you get what I'm saying? They'll be like, oh yeah, he's not. He's clearly way above me. Another
Do you
thing
think the Ren he used in front of Colt? Remember when he used showed his aura to Colt and was like, "How do I stack up to Meron?" Do you think he got stronger since then? Like when he was
stronger. I think you talking about when he fought Meron.
Yeah, so from when he was like showing off his aura to like Colt and Morel and those guys to when he fought Meron, do you think he got stronger?
No, I think he was already. I think he just went all out. I think rather than him getting stronger, I think he just went all out. You get what I'm saying? But even his aura could be so crazy that it could be that when they did feel his aura, they're not above him because he does use them as sparring partners. You know what I'm saying? And they're not going, to death. So clearly he's not going all out. But even then, it's just like, if somebody's like way stronger than me, even if I feel their aura and I know they're stronger than me, there would be no point in me even going all against you. I think when it happened with Merum is he's just like, oh, I can finally let loose. Because he said like, oh, I never fought anybody that I can let loose like this in a minute. You know what I'm saying? So,
can I ask a serious question to Lilo and you, Ryusai? My serious question is this: I'm not even trolling. Is there a difference in quality of nin versus quantity of nin?
Yes.
Like by quality, what do you mean by quality?
So there's a specific scene where Hisoka is looking at Killua's brother. I forget, Illumi. Illumi is about to use his needles, and he looks at Illumi seeping nin into the needles, and he says, that is some high quality nin. Whereas, obviously, there are scenes where people are looking at Meruem and they say that is a tremendous amount of nin. I think in a nin clash, quality and quantity should be taken into effect. Where do you see what I'm getting at?
Well, like,
yeah,
I know that they have, like, because Knuckles straight up says that there's output and total amount are two different things. So are you saying there's like a third thing, like quality is a third thing different than all of those other two?
Yes.
I mean, it could be. I'd have to look at that Illumi scene again to like think about it. But I mean, this scene I have on the screen right now kind of implies that a little bit too, where where Morel's feeling Netero's Ren, he says that it's such polished aura that he feels like he's being stabbed by needles. So maybe, I don't know, maybe there is some like third category to Nen, like quality as well. Maybe I don't know.
It's like hockey. Remember hockey when, just before Kaido's about to win, Luffy realizes you've been using Conqueror's hockey in your attacks, haven't you? And it was like a pivotal moment. And I think that's the pivotal moment because we haven't gotten a domain expansion, a Bankai, a Sage mode, or anything like that from Nin. Usually it's just Hatsu, the basics, some advanced things concerning the basics, and that it. I think, and this is what I was going to say earlier, Togashi right now is in hiatus because he's trying to find his domain expansion. He's trying to find the Bankai for Nin. I think quality is where we are headed, gentlemen. This is my headcanon.
It started out serious, then just blended into headcanon.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, I see.
No,
okay. But no, that's actually kind of an interesting thing. But I saw Catcord in the chat was saying maybe the quality thing just refers to like efficiency, because we get a lot of statements about like you get like more efficient with your Nen the more experience you have. Like like Zeno says like Netero's aura flow is very quiet, so you can like barely tell where he's going to attack you. Like that's another efficiency thing. Meanwhile, like Gon's aura was like very rough because he had like no experience. So like maybe that's what quality is. But Ryu, you had like just started your point. So like I'll like start your timer over, bro. Like what kind of stuff were you saying? Oh, and sorry, one more
It's
thing.
funny you
Sorry,
Yeah, go ahead.
just 1 second. Professor Fiction joined the chat. What's up, bro? You guys go check out his channel. He makes like a lot of power scaling stuff too. But okay, Rio, I'm starting your timer over again, bro. So what were you saying?
Yeah, so it's funny you actually say that because I actually was getting some points up for Ging. I think he's a lot more crazy than what people give him credit for. So for example, like as for like the Dark Continent thing, Beyond isn't choosing just random hunters that he thinks is going to get wiped out immediately, right? He literally says verbatim that all the hunters that he's chosen, their skills are necessary for the unknown. So he got people specifically across the world that he knew can go into a situation, right, based on their skill sets to go into situations that's this dangerous because they know how dangerous the Dark Continent is. You get what I'm saying? If the strongest hunter in the world had a problem with it, he clearly understands how insane this is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All of them do. And they still chose to go into that, right? So that lets you know that they have confidence in Beyond and Parison on top of that, because Parison also there. Then you see Gene walk into the room, and then he proceeds to put 2 pints of Nin around his hands, and you see him say, this is how you use Nin, and he's forming the Nin, he's making Nin bubbles, he's putting them on top of each other and rotating, and you see every single character in here try to do the same thing, and he do, they can't even make one. They're perplexed about how insane he is.
That is true.
Yep. And another thing that Gene does, which I find super insane, is if these dudes are made for the unknown, there's 3 people in here that we know are built for combat. 2 people try to attack him. They threatened him. That was the robot girl who he actually, when he walked in the room, he noticed how strong she was because when he was talking to Parison, right, he looked at her and he had told Parison, oh, this isn't based on how strong you are, like hierarchy-wise, like y'all not beating each other to see who's the person that's going to be in charge. It's based off of intelligence or based off of money, right? He proceeds to know that she's the strongest in the room. She's not using Nin. His senses are insane, right? Because he was about to go fight her. That was what he was gonna go do. They proceed to. We know that there's like 3 strongest people. The one with the headband. There's a guy with a headband in his head. When he tries to attack Gene blitzes him, right? And then he makes him imagine that he's getting punched in the face. He didn't even attack this man. That shows on scale how insane Gene is. That even the people that Beyond brung to bring it to the unknown, a combated person, right? These are combat Nin users, right? He proceeds to outclass them to such a degree that he couldn't even imagine himself even winning a battle against Nin. That is against Gene. That's insane, right?
That's true. Also, like how much money Jing has, like implies he's just done a bunch of crazy stuff too. But and sorry, keep going, bro. Sorry.
Yep, and then another thing too, I realized somebody brought up like, oh well, we don't know how strong. There might be stuff stronger than what Netero saw, which is the case. That's cool. Gene is an archaeological hunter, right? He studies animals and he studies ancient civilizations. He grew up on Whale Island having crazy senses just like Gon. So what makes you think he's going to run into that situation, right? Not knowing what he can do. His dad wrote the book, or his grandfather wrote the book, dad or grandfather. I don't know who Don Freaks. I think it's his dad. I'm not sure. But he wrote the book. And Gene proceeds, right? And all of these people are going on this mission. They've been informed. They know about this. And he proceeds to inform them even more beyond what their knowledge is. And then another feat for Gene, right, is he's just not also strong as shit, right? He also is highly intelligent. He proceeds, right, to outclass every single hunter here in their skills. There's a scene where he's talking to a girl. I don't know her name, right? But I think she like dabbles in ancient civilizations too. She's, like I said, he's picking people that are specialized in this subject to the highest degree. Gene proceeds to outclass her in intelligence on top of that. And then he's keeping up with intelligence on Parison. And when Parison sees Gene use Nin for the first time, he's perplexed. He's like, oh, he's using Lario's ability. This is insane. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. And he's thinking this is his Hatsu. The fact that one of the smartest characters that have the highest IQ and that pretty much knows everything about the Nin world, right, to a super high degree, right, is telling you that he thinks that's a Hatsu, is already telling you how insane Gene is. Oh,
Add on to his intelligence, the legend has it is that he helped develop the Pythagorean theorem.
Wow.
But yeah, it's just like everything that you have for Gene, even narratively implied, you have a character who's super intelligent thinking that he's using a hot tool. He's letting him know, I'm not using a hot tool, I'm just using Nen. His Nen efficiency is so insane that he can literally just copy abilities off a get a punch. Like that is insane. You know what I'm saying? Like everything for Gene is just next level. Is what it seems like for the most part. I think if he was in a Netero fight, I think he would have did a lot better a job too. On top of that, because I know a lot of people think that, I don't know if people understand this, but he also told Harrison too. This is another point he did when he was talking to Harrison. He said, "If you were a brute force fighter, I would have dominated you right now, and this will be over. But you're not, so that's troublesome." Because we know that Harrison is an intelligent person, so we know that Gene likes to fight. He's telling you right there, if you're strong, I ain't got no problem fighting. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't even like, you know what I'm saying, he's not a fighter. All these other skills that Gene has, he just chooses to have. And then he's doing it better than everybody else who specializes in these fields. So yeah, that's all I was about to say for me.
No, yeah, he is really crazy. Yeah, he really is just like the lore merchant, because we haven't seen him go all out yet. But he's pretty similar to like how Shanks is in One Piece. Like we've never seen Shanks go all out either, but we just know he's super strong. So I don't know. It's kind of unfortunate we haven't seen him fight anyone challenging yet. Like the people that like Pariston, he put him in that trap trying to make Ging use his Hatsu ability, but Ging was just so much stronger than those guys. He beat them like with a stolen power. So I don't know. We haven't even gotten close to seeing what he can actually do yet. But all we really have is just statements saying he's been like at the peak of the verse for a long, long time, and that he's probably gotten way stronger since. And now he's doing something that Netero couldn't do. Like he's taking on a mission Netero couldn't. So
yeah,
I mean,
it would make sense for him to. Oh my bad, I'm sorry.
Oh no, you're good. I mean, I was just gonna say he's just kind of like positioned. Like if anyone would be stronger than Netero, it should be him. So that's kind of all we really have for him. But you were saying something else?
Yeah, I was gonna say like, and it makes. Oh,
wait 1 second.
I was gonna say it makes sense.
Go ahead, Ryu. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it makes sense too, because like I said, he is an archaeological hunter. So all these animals that he has, or all these monsters that's higher than he showed the ninja how strong they are and stuff like that. So, or how strong they are to like how strong those creatures are compared to Meru. He knows about these creatures. He studies this stuff. So the fact that he thinks and he's saying, hey, when I go down there, right, I can protect you, because he told somebody he going to protect them while he's down there, lets me know that he knows what he can and can't handle. Now, that's not saying that there might be a creature he don't know about. But for him being the person who got the senses that he has, and he's been dealing with animals just like Gon his entire life, right? And he studies these ancient civilizations and animals. And he's been doing it for like 38 years. That lets me know that if he gets into a situation with some of these higher beings, he'll let everybody know, hey, let's pull out, or he gonna be like, I think I can handle this. You know what I'm saying? But he's clearly thinking that he can handle what Netero handle easily. Yeah,
I agree with you. And what are your thoughts on like I just pulled this panel up on the screen where he's talking about like those 5 calamities, and he says like the best we can do is lock them up. Like, how do you think, like, what do you think he means by that? Like, do you think he has like some kind of power that could just like store them away, or do you think he just means like, I don't know, what do you think he like means by that?
I think what he's saying is, because clearly they're not gonna go without a fight. They're creatures. You know what I'm saying? So odds are he would imagine they're gonna attack. That's not saying all of them gonna do that, but that could be the case. So my imagination is there's probably somebody on that team who has an ability to do something like trap them in like a bubble, or like maybe like the same. I forgot what the dude with the glasses name is that was with Netero, but maybe they have ability like that, like a spatial, like a box ability, right? And then I would imagine he's probably gonna try to fight them and beat them, and then they're going to trap them. That's my imagination.
Yeah, it could be. It really could be anything. But those are good points. But yeah, thanks for sharing those points, bro. I think that was like everyone here, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Wait,
I had more headcanon.
Maybe a little later, bro. I see Cosmic Cookies here too. Did you want to share anything, bro? Oh, he might not actually be. Oh, are you here? Oh, hello.
While he's muted, legend has it that Ging also helped develop the quadratic formula.
Wow, that's nice. Like, so Cosmic Cookie, did you want to share anything?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay, no worries. Yeah, Apothecary, I don't know where he went, bro. I thought he was gonna be here too. Maybe he had to go to sleep or something. But all right, well, I guess that's everything for this debate, guys. So I'm gonna close this out and.
Could I real quick add one more thing?
Sure.
I actually seriously ask a serious question, Lilo?
Yeah, sure. You both can. Yeah. What's up?
So going back to the quality of thing, at headcanon, this is a serious question. If quality does come into play, do you think nin contracts where you make binding vows with nin and post-mortem nin, wouldn't it be making sense that those increase the quality of the nin if quality becomes a factor?
I mean, yeah, probably. I mean, I think it would just depend on the. I mean, so I don't know if quality is a thing, but if it is, then maybe yeah. I don't know. Like, would you say Adult Gone had a better quality of Nen than Kid Gone? Probably.
Right.
Can I jump on this thing?
Yeah. Yes. Just one more thing, because this is where I think this is why the Nin system is a perfect system. Say you make a binding contract with your Nin for your Hatsu ability to say, hey, I am not allowed to use this one technique pertaining to my ability for 6 months. If I use it, it takes 6 months to recharge. So it's almost like the system of Nin for the Hatsu ability of Kite that Ging helped him develop, because we know Ging said, I helped him develop his Hatsu. I think the crazy slots and why they're random is something that increased the quantity and quality of Kite's Nin that made him such a fierce combatant. And therefore, if someone were to put a crazy binding vow on their Nin, like the 6-month rule, they could be like possibly one-shotting a Meruem if they make contact with if they get the hit off. Is that a fair assessment?
I mean, yeah, maybe. Like, the quality of Nen thing might actually be real. I just saw Catcord in the... Hey, bro, what? What is this music?
Why does bro have entry music?
I'm sorry, that happened every time I joined. I gotta get rid of that.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
Bro got his own anime opening for real.
Oh, no, it's all good.
Someone said there was like a staff problem. Like, what was the problem?
Yeah, well, how did I get paid?
Oh, no, it's all good. Well, yeah, Pope Pedro, I just saw a comment in the chat from Catcord. He was saying the quality of Nen thing might be connected to the Nen proficiency charts we got, where we had like the great, genius, and ultimate ranked Nen users. So it could be something like that. Apollyon, you wanted to share something, and Apothecary just hopped back in. Maybe we could let Apothecary go too. So, Apollyon, you could.
I'm sorry to pile on with the interruption. I just want to say real quick with the Nen contracts thing. I think they're also tied into like emotions, so you kind of can't cheese them as easily as like with binding vows, where you could just be like, okay, now my move just works entirely differently. You kind of have to also like be like really feeling it in a way.
Oh yeah, definitely. I agree. Everything counts in this Nin system, because enhancers naturally get stronger when they go out of control. Case in point is Adult Gone. I'm just saying, the reason why I like this system so much is the weakest character can all of a sudden give a finishing blow to the strongest character if they do it right. And I think Nin contracts and post-mortem Nin prove quality is a thing.
Yeah, those are good points. And I wanted Apollyon real quick. You could share the one thing you wanted to share, and then we could let Apothecary go, and I think that'll be the last one tonight.
Yeah. So, do you think that Ging has like access to any Greed Island cards, or like something similar to it
Oh, that's an interesting
that you can
question.
just like use?
Yeah, that's an interesting question because they said like in Greed Island, like if you beat the game, you can take one Greed Island card into the real world and like use it. So he might have like one at least. That's actually a really interesting idea. I never thought about that. Maybe. If I was like highballing Ging, I'd say yes. Like maybe he just like that's part of his trump card or something. Like a literal trump card. But Apothecary just vanished. I don't know where he went. So maybe we'll just end the stream here then. But yeah, that was a pretty fun debate. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm gonna head out of the Discord. Apothecary will just have to hop in the next one, I think. I'll just message him after this. But I'm just gonna look at the YouTube chat now.
May the force be with you, sir.
Peace out. Peace out.
Good night, and I can finally go to sleep. It's 5:50 right now.
Okay.
I hate you, Lilos. I really hate you.
I'm sorry, bro. Oh, wait, Apothecary just hopped back in? Wait,
Yeah, what's up, man? How you been?
hey, what's up, Apothecary? I've been good, bro. How have you been?
I've been good. I haven't really been watching the stream because me, Lenny, and stuff, we've all been chilling. But, like, who do you think wins with Ging and Netero?
Yeah, I was saying for the debate, I think I would have Ging above Old Man Netero, but below Prime. But, I mean, it's really...
Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you, bro.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm thinking...
Mic check, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, I was having Ging above Old Man, but below Prime. But it really could go either
Can you
way.
hear me?
Hey, bro, we can hear you. I don't think he can hear us. Yeah, we can hear you, though.
Yeah, you
hear you
can't hear
guys.
us, bro.
But,
So y'all can hear me real quick. I wanted to say something if it's possible.
okay, yeah. How about, like, you and Apothecary, you guys could just share your points here real quick. How about I give you guys both, like, a total of 10 minutes? Maybe one goes 5, the other goes 5.
Yeah, that's fine. I was just wondering, what do you think, like, Ging does against the Buddha, like Zero Hand, for example? Like, even if Ging is like overall stronger than Netero, which I can like agree to, what do you think he does against like Zero Hand?
I mean, it's really hard to... Oh, against Zero Hand? I think Zero Hand would probably kill him if it landed.
I mean, like, I don't see the substantiation as to why it doesn't land either. Like, even if, like, we assume that he's as strong as, like, a Gon, it would probably still land.
I mean, it's just... we don't...
That's an issue.
There's just so many different ways, like, the fight could play out, and we don't know, like, what the limits of Jing's abilities are. So, like, it really anything could it's kind of hard for me to say, like, how a fight between them would go. But, like, I would say something like this, like, maybe he wouldn't be able to get past the Buddha hands the way Meruem did. Like, just tanking thousands of hits. I doubt he could do that. But, maybe instead he would just use, like, Leorio's ability to just, like, make punches appear near him and just like hit him without having to bypass the Buddha hands. That way he could like keep his distance and like fight long range like that, and just kind of like wear him down that way. Like that's one way I could see the fight going, but really we don't know anything about what Jing's powers could be. Like maybe like if you've seen Yu Yu Hakusho,
Yeah, I've watched it many times. You're talking about the spirit gun?
Yeah, maybe Ging just actually has a spirit gun and it like travels at the speed of light and he just blasts Netero with it. Like really anything could happen, you know? Maybe he has like a rock level spirit gun and it's like he lands like 5 of them and it would kill Netero. Maybe something like that.
I mean, like, you have to do a lot of assuming for that, and that's my issue, where, like, I think that it's pretty cut and dry, at least for the part that, one, Ging most likely can't take the, Buddha hands, or very many of them, and he definitely can't take Zero Hand. It's like, Ging also has no way to stop the speed of Buddha Hand or get around Buddha Hand, at least conventionally. With obviously, even if you give him the substantiation of being like adult grown level for some odd reason, if you like just assume that, he still wouldn't be able to bypass it because he would need the intelligence feats to do that as well, which he doesn't have. So I think it would probably go into a situation where like Netero pulls out Buddha hand, and then like there's just nothing Ging can do. Like Ging is physically stronger than Netero, but like he just gets like hooked by Hack's abilities.
Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. Yeah, you guys can both share it because I just put a timer for 10 minutes.
I'm done. It's cool. Like, I mean, that's all I had to say. Like, if you don't necessarily disagree with that, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's a real possibility because, like, I was saying at the start of the stream that Netero has better feats, like, mainly because he went all out against somebody and Jing's never even tried on screen, so we don't know, like, what his limits are. So it's like, for Ging, he's just like a statement merchant, you know? But,
Can I speak now or no?
yeah, but can you hear us, bro?
I can hear you, but I'm waiting on you guys to finish.
Okay, yeah. Here, go ahead.
Okay. I think everybody's point had good points. I feel like they had made a mention saying that the Chimera Ant were ranked B. But if you paid attention to the King, like Merriam, when he evolved, he had an ability to heal himself. I feel like in the Dark Continent, whenever you go to the Dark Continent, you have to have like Hack's abilities, like the ability to heal, to be able to sense danger. So I feel like the Ging versus Netero fight, that's why I feel like Ging will win that fight, only because of the simple fact that he's so strong that we haven't seen his ability. Usually when you watch anime and somebody's very strong, they don't show you their ability. And so the fact that we haven't seen his ability yet just goes to show how strong he is. He's like the bar. He's like, they use Ging as the bar. Netero was the bar before until he died, so now Ging is now the bar. And I feel like Ging understands Nen to a degree where he can heal himself, or he can use Nen to sense threats and dangers and navigate himself through the Dark Continent. I feel like Netero didn't have that burst ability. He was more of a brawler. And I think that's why when he spoke about the Dark Continent, he was like, this is not a place for him, because he wanted to find somebody he could fight. Whereas Ging is more of like a strategic individual, and he's a master with Nen, like extreme master with it. So I feel like he knows how to heal himself. I feel like he knows how to sense threats and dangers. And him being like an archaeology, somebody that can, you know, go through different experiences, different elements. I think that's what makes him a little bit stronger than Netero. I don't think he's that much stronger, but I feel like he's just a little bit stronger. And that's just my opinion towards the debate.
No, yeah, that's possible. And that's kind of similar to what someone earlier was saying. They were saying they think, like, Netero's more of a brawler, but Ging would be more of, like, an overall hunter, you could say. Like, he can just survive different areas. He's more just versatile. And it kind of, like, lines up well with how Ging wants to go to the Dark Continent and, like, challenge it. But Netero didn't want that. Like, what he was looking for was a 1v1 fight. What Jing's looking for seems to just be like a wild nature to overcome. So, yeah, I can see what you're saying there. I
also feel like Ging. I don't think Ging and Netero fought.
Like in their sparring.
I don't believe they fought because of his enigma. He's an anomaly, and characters like that, like, they're really hard to get them to do what you want. You know what I'm saying? Like, he does his own thing. So I don't think when the narrator talked about using the Zodiacs as a sparring partner, I don't feel like Ging was somebody that Netero actually fought. I think they looked at each other more of an equal and more of respect. And I think Netero allowed Ging to do whatever he wanted, or Ging to do whatever he wanted, excuse me.
No, that's possible too. Like, there's a chance he just never showed up to any of the sparring stuff. That's a good possibility, honestly. That seems like it would be in character for him. Like, he just wouldn't care and wouldn't show up.
Yeah.
Like he didn't even take the time to get his triple star hunter verification, and like Kite said he could have gotten it at least 3 years ago. He still just hasn't done it. So like he clearly just kind of does whatever he wants to do, you know.
Yeah, and just in reference to Nautica, can you guys will talk about the threats and the Dark Continent?
Mm-hmm.
The Dark Continent threats, I don't think there's like I don't think the threats are like combatants in a sense. I feel like they could be like poison gas. I feel like it could be there's all types of different things that you can't think of. I feel like there's elements involved, you know what I'm saying? Like extreme weather, cold weather. So I think that it's going to challenge the cast to be able to use Nen in a way that they never thought of using Nen before. And I feel like Ging, I feel like he understands Nen to that degree. That's why he's so confident in going, because you have to be creative in the Dark Continent. You can't just go to the Dark Continent and just want to fight. And that's what just want to fight. He wanted to find somebody that can fight him. But Jing has displayed Nen in an artistic way, where he can use it to make like puppets, and he can copy people's abilities. I feel like in the Dark Continent, the threats are not just simple combatants. I feel like it could be all types of different things in the Dark Continent.
I agree. Yeah, because it's more fighting nature than just fighting 1v1s. It could just be anything crazy. But
Exactly.
But yeah, bro, that was about 10 minutes. So I agree with like most of the stuff you're saying there. So those are good points, man. But
can I say one more thing too?
Yeah, sure. What's up?
Yeah, another point that I was going to bring up is Netero's, because I know that he said he can copy any abilities that's like a punch or a fist or like a physical attack, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that applies, because it clearly applies to Hatsus. Like, he clearly copied and did a similar thing to what Netero did with his Hatsu. So I wonder if any physical Hatsu, he has such good Nen application that he can probably make a similar thing to what Netero can make. I wonder if that's a thing, too, because he did it with a Hatsu. And we know that usually Hatsus can't be copied with Nen, or we've never seen anybody able to do that, except for Ging. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, that it is possible, man. Like, he might be, like, if the Buddha hand counts as a, like, punching type ability, he might be able to copy that, too. I actually think Jing's probably a specialist. Like, I don't know, though. But, it's possible, yeah.
With the lore behind Ging, I feel like he possibly has multiple Hatsus. Possibly. Like, he probably the only character that possibly has, because if you look at, like,
he's definitely copied a bunch of them. Like, he's definitely copied a bunch.
Multiple Hatsus. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying he's definitely copied a lot of different ones. Because, like, he's like he fights people, like, annoys people all the time. He's definitely been hit by more than just Leorio, you know?
Exactly. So I feel like we're looking at Ging with a closed mind. And but if you pay attention to the show and you listen to his narrative, like, he's a very open character. Like, he's a character of like, creativity. And he's always curious. He's always trying to, like, challenge himself. When Leorio hit him with that punch, which was a dope punch, the fact that he was able to, like, copy it and use it for what it was worth shows how capable he really is. So I feel like he has multiple Hatsus that allows him to be able to, he just has hacks. I feel like a lot of hacks. And I think he can heal himself, too.
Yeah, he could. I mean, yeah, we just have no idea what he's capable of. He could do probably a bunch of crazy stuff. But all right, guys, I think I'm gonna end the stream here. That was a fun debate. Thank you guys in the Discord for joining and adding to it. But I'm just gonna look at the YouTube chat for a little bit now, and then just close out the stream from here. But yeah, thanks.
All right, take it easy.
Yeah, thanks for contributing to it, guys. I'll see you around. All right, chat. Let me look at the YouTube chat for a minute here. I missed so many of them. During the debates, it's like very rare that I'll like catch a comment. Unless it's like, I don't know. It's just rare. I just look over at it every now and then during the debate portion. Just because I'm trying to focus on what the people are saying. Unless it's a super chat, then like those ones pop up with like a special color, so I see them automatically. But here's something else I wanted to do. I wanted to give out some gifted memberships because we had a lot of people here stay pretty late. So let me see. Let me give out some gifted memberships. So wait, can I do that from here? What's this button do? Oh, I just figured out how to do polls too. I just figured out how to do polls. I can do polls in the stream and do a Q&A. But let me gift out some memberships. So 5 people who stayed till the very end, you guys will get some memberships. It'll be random. Let's see who it is. Let's see. So yeah, I just gave out 5 gifted memberships. So yeah, now you guys, these 5 people got picked at random. You guys will be able to see the members only content. And I'm thinking I gotta edit this video, bro. That's all I'm gonna be doing tomorrow, just editing. But I'm thinking for the rest of the night I might play some Street Fighter before I go to bed, and I might just go ahead and stream that. It's my favorite game right now. Catcord, you said it's an interesting debate for sure, but so far I think Netero wins, mostly just because his strength comes from his sheer physicality. Like, this dude trained physically until his punches were ultra fast. Yeah, that is pretty crazy. He went beyond the limits of his potential. I don't think Ging has done that. I don't think Jing's gone beyond the limits of his potential either. But I also don't even think Jing's reached his full potential. I think he'll get a lot stronger, especially once he reaches the Dark Continent. If he meets Doan Freaks is out there, I think he'll learn stuff. That was also part of why I wanted Gon to go with him to the Dark Continent, because like that analogy I was talking about with the World Tree, I think it's like meant to be a metaphor for Gon and Jing, where it's like if they just stay in the human world, they'll be the strongest like hunters, but it's nothing compared to where they would be if they were in the Dark Continent. What did you guys think of that? Like, do you think that's actually a correct metaphor? Like, do you think that's what Togashi was going for there? Because that's what it seemed like to me. Yeah, well, Mac, all the people who got the membership, I don't know if they're even like awake still. They might have fallen asleep with the stream on. They might have fallen asleep with the stream on, and they'll just wake up and have memberships now. Kisuke, you said he's really young for being as strong as he is. Oh yeah, definitely. That like goes to show he has talent like relative to Gon. What about Ging versus Silva and Zeno? Ging honestly would probably still win just based off of Zeno and Silva saying they might both die trying to just kill Crollo. Catcord, you said, honestly, that's an interesting metaphor. Never thought of it like that, but it does add up with the Freaks as kind of having bottomless potential. Yeah, that's what I think. I view it as like a metaphor for Gon and Ging. It's like if they stay in the human world, they'll get super strong. But if they go to the Dark Continent, they'll just become like who they're really meant to be, which is kind of why Ging wants to go. But yeah, Chad, I think after this, I mean, bro, all I'm doing tomorrow is just editing. So I think I'm gonna play some Street Fighter tonight before I go to sleep. It's my favorite game, favorite one out there. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm thinking I kind of want to do a poll first, just because I've never done a poll. I should have, like, what kind of poll should I? Actually, let me go ahead and do a poll right now, and just see like what people in the chat think. Let's say who's stronger. How do I change these words? Wait, Ging, old Netero. Yeah, I just did a poll. I've never done one of these in the live stream before. I'll just leave it up for a few moments. I'm just interested to see like what the chat thinks after all the debates. Who do you think is stronger? Yeah, and I think like by the end of the Dark Continent, Ging will be a lot stronger than he is right now. But man, I wish that Gon and Killua went too. More Gon because it just seems like connected to his lore. Like I think Gon should go and like meet Doan Freakses and like figure out more about the Freakses bloodline and stuff. But I don't know if that's going to happen. You said maybe there's other high quality ingredients in food beside the rice on the Dark Continent. There is actually. I have a screenshot of that. And I don't know if I even talked about it. Wait, did I even put the screenshot in here? Like, that's part of like why they're going on the mission. It's to get material that's valuable to humanity. And like Ging has this line of dialogue where he's talking about like there's crazy stuff out there. There's crazy stuff out there. Beyond actually brought back like some valuable material. I think it was called the alchemy plant. And I don't remember what it does or if they even say what it does, but like there's a lot of crazy stuff out there, more than just the nitro rice. I think the nitro rice and the herbs that cure any disease, those are just like those are just like some of the only things they know about. Those aren't like the only things that are there though. I think there's a lot of materials that are there, but yeah, a third thing is called the alchemy plant, and they actually brought that back. So there's all kinds of crazy stuff there, I'm sure. But alright, chat, I think that'll be the end of the stream for now. Yeah, I want to play some Street Fighter and then go to sleep. I fell back in love with that game after playing a bunch of Hunter x Hunter and N Impact and being really disappointed with that game. So I'm gonna probably stream from, I don't know. I don't even know if I'll stream it. I might just play solo, because I got to get going to sleep soon and get up and get this video done for you guys. But alright, guys. The hiatus arc is done now. I got to get back to actually making power scaling stuff. So I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Yeah, I was gone for a minute. I have not done a like power scaling or debate stream in like 2 weeks. Really, I just wasn't even doing stuff, dude. I wrote some scripts, just like refused to edit them. That was my bad. But I'm getting back to work now, so I'll see you guys soon. The next video will be out soon. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one.